All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shadow of the Colossus. My name is Ark.
I'm Wander, the random ninja.
And today we are taking on the second serpent-like Colossus, Dirge, which is a...
Listen, I gave you that it's a serpent. This is the first serpent-like thing. Hydrus was an eel. We've been over this. That is not a serpent.
Whatever.
Serpents have scales. Hydrus was an eel. Eels do not have scales.
Are you done?
Maybe.
So today we're taking on Dirge, which is probably the weirdest named Colossus out of all of them, for what he is, I would say.
I'm sure someone's probably tried to connect it to Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
Oh. I don't know. I've never played Final Fantasy.
You're not missing out, especially with Dirge of Cerberus.
I
would recommend checking out Dark Id's excellent LP of it.
Huh. The only Final Fantasy game that I played was Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO game. That was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing it.
You've played... Wait. Did you play after A Realm Reborn or before?
I played it after. I played during...
Okay.
I played between Stormblood and the second, Heaven's Word. I played between
That's
those.
all meaningless to me. I know it was shit, and then it became not shit, and has continued being not shit, as I understand it.
I just got bored of it. I get bored of MMOs after a while, because it just becomes the same thing over and over again.
Agreed. That is similar to how I feel about MMOs as well.
Yeah.
So Dirge is really fucking far away.
Yeah, he is. I don't think I get I don't think I get lost all that much finding him though.
Yeah, lost a little bit. So this is the hill I came down every single time I had to restart Basarin last time. This hill, that save point right back there. That's where I saved. Yep, saw this view a lot. I'm
sure you did.
A lot.
I don't know. I thought he was very simple. And he kind of reminded me of a thing. I'm sure everybody says this, but he kind of reminded me of the monster from Tremors.
Dirge? Yeah, definitely. He attacks you from the sand. He's kind of like a worm in the sense that he is a snake.
Yeah.
Which is basically just a big scaly worm.
Hey, don't we have another, like... worm / serpent / something long and elongated animal that we have to fight?
Do. Yep, we got one more, and I think that's coming up pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, this one, and if I remember correctly from the things that I've seen, it's in the air, isn't it?
Yes.
So we had a water one, a land one, and an air one. You know, I'm actually really surprised that they didn't do a Colossus that was like in a fiery area, almost like a volcano kind of thing. But
well, Basarin was in geysers.
Yeah, I guess.
And also having a volcano in the Sacred Lands would be kind of strange.
Yeah, that was what I was going to touch on, was that it would seem kind of weird to have something like that in this kind of area. And there you see Aggro going, wee!
Yeah, Aggro doing a sick jump for some reason.
I think there was like just enough of a ledge that he jumped off of, but it didn't look like much. So he just decided to go wee!
Wee, all the way down. Little piggy.
Now we're just in the boring segment of this where we travel.
He is really hilariously far. He is as far away as it could possibly be, I think.
Is this the
Avion
farthest?
and him are tied.
Are they?
I believe, well, Hydrus was pretty far as well, actually. I think Hydrus might have been further.
Maybe. I don't know. It just took a while to find him.
Yeah, it's, you know, you're going through plains. It's basically the same environment, at least in the case of Hydrus, it was kind of like plains, desert, canyon kind of stuff.
Right.
And you took the scenic route of going back through Gaius's platform.
Yeah, when I went to Hydrus. And here...
Oh, good. We tried to take the same path. We both made the same mistake, huh?
I mean, I think Aggro could have made that jump.
Fucking Aggro, it is a slight slope, man. Well, he made that jump.
Right?
Refused to do that for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I spent a good long while getting down to that save shrine.
I didn't. I don't even know if I would classify it that I had a hard time with Dirge. It was just another case of I didn't realize what I had to do for the fight at first. I tried one way and that didn't work, and then Dorman finally chimed in, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be interesting to see you do the time attacks now, knowing how to tackle every Colossi,
right?
Or every Colossus. I think you'd probably, if not hit equal to my times, probably beat them.
I think so. At least hit equal as well. And overall, I would say Dirge was kind of boring, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's very reliant on aggro and just shooting a arrow.
Yeah.
It's not exciting. Yes, it's pretty, but it is kind of reaching a point where pretty isn't really doing much in the way of new things.
I would also say that he's very unoriginal, I guess, because he's very short. Like the climb on him is just very, very short.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot more complicated. I thought he would start moving, but he doesn't.
Not really. See, here I was actually on aggro because I was trying to, like, find him.
Well, he found him all right.
Oh, yeah, and he brings me under.
He hurts a lot.
Yeah, he does.
So I think that's the... You almost died to Kuromori, but in terms of sheer damage output, I think this guy is one of the most damaging ones, short of being stomped on by Colossus.
Right. So my initial strategy for this was I thought I had to lure him to one of these rock pillars, and like maybe for some reason he couldn't see underground or something like that, and he would ram into them, kind of thing. That's what I thought that I had to do. And then Dorman tells me that I have to be on aggro to make him chase me.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly not a terrible way of thinking, because it is kind of along the lines of what you actually have to do, which is get him to crash into the wall. So,
right.
You know, you're making all of these conclusions that aren't super inaccurate, honestly, and it's just you go about them slightly wrong. So, having never played, I feel like you're doing this too quickly, and it's not fair to the people who had a really hard time the first time they played through.
I mean, I've always been pretty decent with puzzles, whether it be video games or just in general. Especially video games. Like, my girlfriend is always asking me to help her when she's stuck on a puzzle in video games.
Oh, so your girlfriend's terrible at video games? Cool.
Yes.
Cool. I'm like, sure to let her know you said that.
Oh, she knows. I tell her all the time. So now we actually start the run with me on aggro. And I do give the fight this scene is very, very cool.
Yeah, and aggro, it's sort of showing you, like, hey, aggro can kind of steer himself. You immediately figure out the eye thing. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so to be fair, two things. One, you texted me about, because we were talking about our runs. And two, Dorman had mentioned it when he was giving us our next target. He said something about his gaze, and I'm like, okay, so he probably has something to do with his eyes. And they're big freaking targets. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. So the reason you don't notice the first sigil, and I made the same mistake, you don't have your sword out. So it's not that you need to shine a light. If you have your sword out, it'll reveal the presence of them.
Oh.
But because you have the bow out right now, it's not showing you.
Right.
And I assume you switch out to your sword relatively soon.
Yeah, I think after I hit, like, the crest up here is when I swap out to my sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I know that I'm like standing right on top of it. I tried going for a jump stab. Didn't work very well.
Not quite. I see you're inspired by my Basaran run to try to get the trophy.
I tried to add a little bit of flair.
This boss would be another good one to get that trophy on.
Oh, the kill with the jump stab?
Is probably the easiest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're later on in the game, yeah, this guy's probably fine.
I think that's the only time that I actually, like, missed a stab from him shaking. Was that...
Yeah, I didn't even notice he shook, I'll be honest. Now, someone in the thread can let us know if you can actually get both sigils in the same run.
I don't know if you can.
Both of us do the same thing. We go for the top one, and then he immediately goes underneath as soon as we finish it. So.
I'm not sure if you can or not, because I would say that I actually got on him pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, but then you took your time getting up to the sigil.
Right.
and, you know, I sort of did the same thing. I kind of meandered around. Presumably you could go for the bottom one first, but I think it's just you can only get one. That's what I'm going to go with. We both had that happen.
Yeah, it makes more sense. And I wouldn't really even consider that a fall.
No, it's not. If it's intentional, if it's by design, it's definitely not a fall.
Right. And now just comes the fun part of luring him again. I have to say this part is still... I think this is the only good part of the fight. Is just the chasing and just you shooting them.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun when aggro runs into a wall. That's good fun.
I would say that arrow right there was actually pretty lucky.
Same thing happened to me. The second arrow, I didn't even realize it had hit him.
Yeah. And then he decides to knock me into the wall.
Yep. And then hit somewhere else completely away from you.
Pretty much, yeah. And then before I get on him, I take my sword out and I shine. Or I just take... Okay, maybe I don't.
I mean, you must at some point.
Oh, I remember what I do. Is because I go up to his head.
And...
That's what screwed me on my time. Was because I was thinking...
You know, yeah, that confirms it. There's no way it's a time thing. It must just be as soon as you get a sigil, that's it.
Yeah.
Because if you go all the way up to his head and then all the way back down... Also, that's some real good collision detection.
Right.
Against the wall there.
Yeah, because I'm like down at his head portion, and I'm like, okay. Because I thought that first sigil was the first sigil. Or the first sigil that I got.
Again, yeah. With your bow out, you wouldn't know anyway, but
right.
Got your sword out, no sigil.
And then again, because of the weird, like, detection thing, I thought it was, again, up by his head. Mm-hmm. And then I get off of him, and I'm like, hello? Knock, knock.
Oh, I mean, that is honestly a really good look at his head.
Yeah,
those
except...
tiny little stubs for horns, and then... That's kind of neat.
Yeah, and then I finally get the right direction of where the sigil is. And then it must definitely be... I think you're right. It most definitely must be when you destroy it, because I take forever to get this one.
You take all goddamn day.
I could easily, like, cut my time down to, like, 3 minutes or less on this fight.
Oh, definitely.
So my final time ended up being 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Partly because I didn't know his mechanic, and the other part was I just didn't have my sword out when I should have.
Yep, and yeah, so now you know if you've got your sword out, it's no problem.
And we have officially entered the double digits of our Colossus downs. Because,
this is number 10. There are 6 more to go?
Yep.
8 more to go?
6.
6 more to go.
I saw a video, I didn't watch it though, of like a rumored like 17th Colossus for some reason. Again, I didn't watch it, but
there were a few that were dummied out that were included in the demo, which I think is where I got 18 from.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few included in an E3 demo years before the game came out. And it included the statues, which were all the same generic template, but it included more of them.
Oh, I see. So now we get our intro again to our snaky friend.
Yep.
What's really weird is that you don't see his eyes when he's doing that. Is that because, like, do you know...
They're closed.
Okay, so they're just closed?
Yeah, so why he needs to open his eyes at all is a fucking mystery, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
And then you shoot him in them, and then he does it again!
So again, it's just... I think both of us got really lucky with our arrows.
So it's actually really cool how they sort of modeled Wander standing up on the saddle when you turn all the way around.
Yeah, I see it now.
There's no fucking way that arrow hit his eyeball. I just want to point that out. There's no goddamn way. That absolutely missed.
Yeah, that's what I thought with the first one. I was like, really? That hit? I guess the hit detection on it is pretty weird. But it's pretty crazy that his eyes are so huge.
Well, it's a big target. It's analog sticks, I guess, with no snap to lock on.
Now, what were you doing right there?
I make the same mistake, and I have my fucking bow out, so I'm like, I know there's a sigil somewhere. What the hell? Just fuck it. I guess I'll just keep crawling. And then I pull out my sword, and if I'd looked behind me, I definitely would have seen it.
Yeah.
But I just pull out my sword and go, I guess it's up further.
Yeah, like when I was climbing him, and I didn't see the first sigil at first, I was like, okay, this seems kind of long for a first sigil.
Yeah. I thought the same thing, and then go, oh, weird. Well, whatever, found one, let's just go stab it.
I thought it was kind of funny that when I took my sword out, I was right on top of it.
That's perfect timing. So we've reached the... It really bothers me that we don't have quite enough strength to get that in 2 stabs.
I thought...
We both had to do a 3rd stab.
Did we? Okay.
It was a really sliver of health.
Yeah, yours was. I wasn't counting mine. I don't know.
Like you said, Dirge, it's a nice arena. It's interesting. I like the spot of sun you have here with like the leaves from the trees above it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just almost an uninteresting fight.
I would say it is definitely probably the most uninteresting fight so far.
Like, coming from Basarin, who, you know, is a giant crab, to this guy, who's just a snake. It doesn't feel that different than from Hydrus.
Right.
Like, the design is almost the same. He's got the spikes on his back.
And Hydrus had the thing where, one, he was underwater, which made the fear that much more terrifying. And 2, he had the electricity thing that you had to dodge around, or in my case, I stabbed them so they turned off.
Yeah.
And he
so
really
I was
didn't...
counting on aggro not fucking running into the wall on his own.
Yeah.
But, he sure just kept running into the wall.
You got pretty lucky with that shot, too, because he was like...
Oh, yeah. He wasn't even above the sand. Like I said, I got really lucky with my arrows. There's no reason that should have hit him.
Right.
But, hey, it did. So, I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not really much commentary for this, because this fight really is kind of boring, in my opinion.
It drags on a bit. Giving him a 2nd sigil, I think, was a mistake. Because it's not any more challenging.
Right.
If you get 1 sigil, it's just repeating the same thing and getting the 2nd sigil.
Right. So your final time ended up being 3 minutes and 42 seconds. So you're about 3 minutes faster than mine.
And most of that was just you dawdling around his head for a while.
Yeah.
Him sinking into the sand is a cool touch. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it kind of looks weird. Like, him having fur is kind of weird for me.
Well, they've got to give you something to climb on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess they could have made it like almost like spikes that you could grab onto kind of thing. I don't know.
Here's something, if you want to play around with what you can grab onto and what you can't, try climbing a cliff in this game. It's fucking impossible. You cannot grab onto any ledges.
I saw that. I was trying to figure that out. I was like, wow, they really just don't let you climb.
So, I think it was just a design thing where originally they needed to give players a visual indicator of what could be grabbed and what couldn't, and just sort of an ease of programming. So, hey, let's make it fur.
Right.
But it's a snake. Why does it have fur?
Right. Alright, so that's it for Dirge. Not much to say. In my opinion, it's probably my least enthusiastic fight, I would say.
I would agree. Like, Valis has that sense of majesty and size about him. This is just a snake in sand.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I had going for it was that you actually had to use aggro.
Yeah. It's the first boss where you have to use aggro. As you demonstrated, you don't have to use aggro for Basarin.
Nope. Okay. So, in the next episode, we are taking on Celosia, I believe it's called. If my list is correct.
I think it is.
I get nothing from that name, so I'm not sure what we're in for.
You don't get anything from the name Solosia, and also it's been set loose and keeps the fire alive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we're getting that fire, the fire Colossus that I was talking about.
Something like that.
All right. So, my final time was 6 minutes and I believe 47 seconds.
Yep. And mine was 3 minutes and 42, so there's a difference of 3 minutes and 5 seconds between the two times.
Yep, still pretty close.
I think we could probably, with practice, get that down to 3 minutes.
Getting the most definitely.
Like going for the sigil first and then not dawdling.
Yeah.
Like either one of us could definitely have done that faster.
Right. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of Shadow of the Colossus. The commentary is probably less interesting than some of the other ones. We kind of understand that. We weren't very interested in this fight to begin with. Or I wasn't anyway.
But hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. And and if you didn't, enjoy it better. Try harder.
Yeah, so next episode we'll be taking on, I guess, the Flame Keeper, I'm going to call him, Solosia. So, as always, this has been Shadow of the Colossus, and my name is Ark.
I'm RandomNinja.
And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!